All right, everybody, welcome back to Knicks Latest, your home for New York Knicks basketball. I am Josh Rodriguez, your host. You can follow me everywhere at Josh_Rodriguez_. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment below. I want to take your comments. I want to make them a part of the show. I want you to be a part of the show just as much as I am. This is your show as well. We're trying to build a community here full of New York Knicks fans. But let's get straight to it. Game 2 recap. Fortunately, the Knicks caught an L. They lose 100-94 to Cade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons. A very disappointing performance if you're a Knicks fan. Jaylen Brunson with 37 points. To be honest with you, did not like the way he played all game. I thought he played very selfish. I thought he was looking for his shot and his shot only. It felt like he was trying to prove a point, especially in the second half. The Knicks did not run any offense whatsoever, and some of that is on Thibs, but some of that is also on Jaylen Brunson. You know, they did try running some inverted pick and rolls with Josh Hart and Deuce McBride from time to time, but those went nowhere. Jaylen seemed to try to play bully ball, or he tried, to draw fouls or foul bait, get to the line. He did sometimes, but it still led the offense to being out of rhythm. Players not touching the ball as much as they used to. Karl-Anthony Towns was completely invisible in the second half offensively. They did not go to him at all. And again, some of that is coaching, but a lot of it is also your point guard recognizing that, recognizing mismatches, recognizing that your player hasn't touched the ball in a long time. As a point guard, it is your responsibility to see that happen in a game and do something about it. And I thought Jaylen just tried to win the game himself yesterday, which was very disappointing because obviously he has other players on the team who he can go to. This Knicks team is not Jaylen and company. It's a team. It is a solid team. Offensively, it's one of the best starting fives that you could possibly ask for from an offensive standpoint. There's no reason why Jaylen Brunson should feel the need to take it upon himself to do everything. Now, do I expect that to continue going forward? I don't think so. I think that the Pistons have gotten into Jaylen's head a little bit with how physical they had been playing him. I think him not getting calls in the first quarter and the second quarter pretty much frustrated him throughout the game. And to be fair to him, they weren't calling anything on him. They weren't calling anything on the Pistons in the first half. The Pistons were very physical. They were fouling the Knicks, and the Knicks were not getting any calls while the Pistons were. And I know that can be frustrating, but it's still not an excuse to kind of go off the rails and try to take things into your own hands and win the game by yourself. That's a part of basketball. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes the refs are favorable towards you, and sometimes they're not. And it just so happened in the first half, the Pistons are getting most calls and the Knicks weren't, but that's just the game. It kind of evened out in the second half. I thought the refs were bad throughout the whole game, if I'm being honest with you. I thought they had a pretty rough night. Mostly affected the Knicks in the first half, and in the second half, I think the Pistons got the short end of some calls as well, if we're being honest. So, no excuse there. I think they just have to be better. I think Jaylen has to be better. I think they have to incorporate Cat in the offensive sets a little more. Defensively, I don't think they played too bad. Cade was really good. OG was on him like white on rice in the first game. In the second game, they found ways to get OG off of Cade Cunningham, with pick and rolls. There was a lot of movement for their shooters. Malik Beasley had an off game, luckily, but Dennis Schroeder now off the bench, drops 20, and the game winner off of action in which the Knicks didn't switch to pick and roll. So another miscommunication there from the Knicks on defense. Just not the Knicks performance that you would like to see in Game 2. Very disappointing. And I honestly thought that a lot of this falls on Tom Thibodeau, the coach. I like Tibbs. I'm not someone who advocates for the firing of coaches. I think that's kind of lame. And I'm not saying that that's where I'm at right now with him. But adjustments have to be made. I think he was severely outcoached by J.B. Bickerstaff yesterday. I think even though Jaylen Brunson is kind of on a revenge tour and he is trying to be vindicated for the fouls that he thought that he had been taking throughout the game, it is still on you, the head coach, to run some offense, to call some sets that are going to get other players involved. It is still on you to figure out a way to make your team more comfortable on that end of the floor. It is still on you to figure out how to keep OG Anunoby on Cade Cunningham, or somebody who is good enough defensively on Cade Cunningham. That's on you. And I thought he did a very poor job yesterday. I thought his rotations were a little weird. Campaign, after saving the Knicks in Game 1, didn't really play much at all in Game 2. I thought Deuce was left in a little too long in the second half. I know he hit a couple threes, one being a very lucky three, but I thought, aside from that, I thought Deuce was bad yesterday. The Knicks don't have too much of a bench to go to, so I kind of understand that, but I would like to see Mikal back in the game there and going with the players who you pay to get you there. So just overall, a very, very disappointing day if you're a New York Knicks fan. And now you head to Detroit, in which you have to play a very decisive Game 3 on the road in front of fans who have not seen playoff basketball in the longest time. A very proud franchise, a very proud fan base that's going to be hungry to take a 2-1 series lead. It's just not a situation you want to be in if you're the New York Knicks. This was supposed to be, a series where you go up 2-0 and yeah, maybe you fight a little bit in Detroit, but you don't get scared too much, and you pull it out. And now the series is definitely in question. It's 1-1. The Knicks no longer have home court advantage. The Pistons have all the momentum, and to be honest with you, throughout 2 games, the Pistons have looked like the slightly better team, although I don't think that they are. So Thursday is going to be a huge day for the whole season for the New York Knicks. I think we're going to learn a lot about this team on Thursday. But let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you think the Knicks win Game 3. Let me know if you're still confident that the Knicks win this series against the Detroit Pistons. It is 1-1 right now. It's a little nerve-wracking. I'm a little nervous, not going to lie. I had the Knicks in 5. I thought this would be an easier series. I don't think the Pistons have enough talent to keep up with the New York Knicks, but so far I'm wrong. Who knows? I mean, this still can end in 5. The Knicks could find themselves like that, and all of a sudden, it's 3-1 back to the Garden, them closing it out. But right now, it's not looking that way. But let me know what you think. Make sure you subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow to preview Game 3 and what I think is going to be the keys to the game. Peace.